are spikes to guide or hold. It doesn't necessarily hold, but it guides whatever it's placed on the flat rack. This slide shows you a pictorial drawing of the container carrying wagon. What you see on the right top is what we call the front view. If you have done engineering drawing or technical drawing, this is the front view of the container carrying wagon, and it's a 4-axle container carrying wagon. So you see the bogie on the right consisting of 2 axles and 2 at the back. So this is the bogie container wagons, 4 axles in all, and the uses are stated on the left for sea containers and swap bodies. At the bottom left, the picture you see there, a tank in white casing with a yellow stripe on the side, is what we call swap bodies. Swap bodies is a tank, built in a way like a container. So this is a skeletal container with a tank in it, and we call it swap bodies. The view at the bottom right is the plan. That is the view that you see when you look directly from the top of the container carrying wagon. You see that there are holes in it. See, the holes in it are supposed to make it lighter so that you don't have too much dead weight in it. And it's built to make it as strong as required. So the container can be, seated on the container carrying wagon. You will see that it also had spikes holding devices on it to, lock up the containers, just as you see with the trucks that carry containers, what we call twist locks. Container carrying wagons have twist locks in the front, in the back, so that when containers are put on it, they can be secured properly onto the flat bed. This is the old type of refrigerated wagons, and you see Pacific Fruit Export. So it tells you it's probably carrying fruits or frozen items. This is a refrigerated. These days, most of the refrigerated wagons are painted white, like the reefer containers you see at the port. Whenever you see any wagon, check whether it's 2-axle or 4-axle, because there's a difference there. 2 axles are used for lighter cargo, and the 4 axles or bogie wagons or bogie wagons are used for heavier trucks. So it may be a reefer, it may be a tank wagon, it may be flat. The weight determines whether it's a bogie wagon or a 2-axle wagon. This is quite obvious. This is a tank wagon. This is a 4-axle tank wagon. This is a bogie tank wagon. Right. Ask yourself, which national railway company owns this tanker? You see the emblem on it, NS Cargo. NS is which country? Netherlands. So this is the Netherlands National Railway bogie wagon or tank wagon. Right. I suppose you'll be saying, wow, what is this? Because you probably haven't come across it. This is what I call the silo wagon or self-unloading wagon. The top opens, so it opens wide like a shovel, so that grain, sand, gravel can be poured into it, and then it carries it to its destination. This wagon obviously belongs to which national railway? Deutsche Bahn, the German national railway. And it is 2-axled self-unloading wagon or silo wagon. There are 2 wagons also shown in this picture, which I captured from Times in 1990, and I've kept it till now, and it is an artist's impression of two special wagons used in the Channel Tunnel. That is the rail line between United Kingdom and France. That enters underground at Dover and comes out on the other side. It goes under the English Channel, the sea, for about 22-25 miles and comes out on the other side in France. And the Channel Tunnel comes out in Calais. Calais is in France. So when you want to go from United Kingdom to France, even though there is a sea between them, about 25 miles wide, there is a rail tunnel that goes directly. So you can drive, you can, go without using the sea or the water. Now, what do you see at the 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 backside? You see a skeletal frame there. Those skeletal frames, you see that there's an articulated truck trying to, as if driving into the skeletal wagon. That skeletal wagon is what Channel Tunnel uses to carry articulated trucks. One wagon may carry 3 or 4 or 2, typically 2, depending on the length of the articulated truck, 2 in each wagon, or probably 3. And they would link them up, so one train or one locomotive would carry the number of articulated trucks in just one go. So if there are about 10 wagons carried by the train and each wagon carries 2 articulated trucks, then it will mean one train will be carrying 20 articulated trucks through the channel, and it will come out at Calais, and the articulators will drive down from the carriage, using a ramp, and then they continue their journey. So also in the front, you see that there's a yellow car and a red car. What they are trying to do is driving up a ramp. They are already on the ramp, and they drive into another special kind of wagon that carries vehicles. This is a vehicle carrying wagon. It takes small vehicles, and it also even carries coaches and all that. So passengers who are driving from UK using their own vehicles or going by coach from UK to France, they will drive their cars or coaches into these special wagons, and they will be loaded into it. And then if, say, there are 10 wagons, each carrying about 10 cars, then you have 10 multiplied by 10, 100 cars being pulled by one locomotive through the Channel Tunnel. It comes out, and once it comes to the other side, the cars drive out using the same type of ramp that they use to drive into the wagons and drive off. This is the loading and offloading system of the special wagons used in the Channel Tunnel. So this is a special type of wagon. You will not see these wagons anywhere except, in the Channel Tunnel, the rail system between United Kingdom and France. The skeletal one is for articulated trucks, to make it lighter because the trucks may carry heavy loads, and the covered one will be for cars and coaches. So if you are trying by coach from United Kingdom to France, you may not, and you don't want to go by sea through a ferry, you can use the Channel Tunnel. The coaches would drive by ramp into the special coaches, or the cars would also join, and they will be carried by a locomotive from Dover under the sea, and it comes out at Calais, so that you can continue your journey without any difficulty. See, this is the space shuttle from the Soviet Union that carries astronauts to the space station and to space. Remember, the blasters of the boosters are what you see in red. Each booster has 4, thrusters under it. So in all, there are about 20 thrusters. And look at the green thing under it. That is a train, a flat track. And you see, I describe a train to have a high or increased security of cargo. Look at armed soldiers patrolling or leading the train. They are patrolling because this is a very expensive project, space rocket. It costs billions and billions of dollars, and nobody is allowed to come anywhere near. So even whilst the train carries the space rocket to the launching station, it is secured. Soldiers with fully armed would give it some security. And you see, you cannot use road vehicles to carry such heavy equipment, and they are very expensive equipment. The appropriate mode of transport used to carry such space rockets, the mode is train. See how useful rail transport is. It carries the most expensive gadget, and so that's what you see. But this is a special flat wagon used to carry it. The Americans also use special flat wagons to carry the spacecraft, and the modern ones even that shot off recently and came back. They use trains to carry space shuttles and rockets to the launch pad. See how useful rail is in transportation. Other companies like car manufacturers, VW, BMW, they've all constructed and designed and constructed special wagons. You may come across some of them in journals, in magazines, and whatnot. For example, VW car manufacturers have a special wagons that is 3-tier covered wagon that can carry VW cars across Europe and elsewhere. Those are all special wagons. So as you read, as you go on the internet, please keep your eyes peeled and make sure you can identify